I'm worried about is, well, if I change my mind, gosh, somebody like John Dickerson's going to accuse me of, flip-flopping. Well, that's the way it goes. That's being stubborn and not being a leader. And so that's part of what government does too, I mean, you engage in certain actions which you're hopeful will work, and when they don't work, you should change course, not stay stubborn because you're afraid of somebody asking you a gotcha question.
Thanks. He told a group of Iowa pork producers he will veto the New Jersey bill.
What? Well, obviously, I guess you can't ignore the citizens of Iowa who elected you governor of New Jersey. Wait a minute. What's going on here?
Pig farming isn't big in New Jersey, but it is huge in Iowa, which is home to the first election caucuses.
Iowa is the #1 pork producing state in the country. New Jersey has 9,000 pigs. Iowa has 20 million.
Let me get this straight. Purely to advance his personal political goals, Chris Christie is going to veto a bill almost unanimously supported by the people of New Jersey, which is weird considering the kind of guy Chris Christie always says he is.
My job is to stand up for the people of New Jersey and fight for them, and that's what I'm going to do regardless of the politics. What the people of New Jersey want is people who come into office and do their jobs. And if you try to calculate every one of these moves politically, you're not doing your job. I've always put the people of New Jersey in my oath ahead of petty personal politics.
With, of course, the obvious exceptions of bridges and pigs. Them. So I guess now we know Governor Christie's presidential ambition is the one thing he won't put in a tiny crate.
New Jersey governor and potential Republican presidential candidate Chris Christie refuses to sign 3 gun control bills, including one he endorsed just 4 months ago. Christie initially called for the ban on the sale of .50 caliber rifles in April after the Sandy Hook shooting put increased pressure on the governor to support gun control. But Christie vetoed the state legislature's version of that bill, which bans the weapon from civilian ownership entirely. Christie wrote, "The wide scope of this total ban will not further public safety, but only interfere with lawful recreational pastimes." Christie sent another 2 bills back to the state Senate with conditional vetoes on key sections of legislation. Gun control advocates are calling Christie's move a failure of leadership. A state Democrat tells the Washington Post banning these battlefield-style weapons was designed to keep these highly destructive firearms out of the hands of dangerous criminals and terrorists. Instead, the governor has shunned this notion and bowed to the pressure of right-wing conservatives. But despite these recent vetoes, Christie has shown he isn't opposed to all gun control. The vetoes come 1 week after Christie signed 10 other gun control bills into law, including a bill that bans people on the federal terrorist watch list from owning a gun. A writer for The Hill says Christie's wavering position on gun laws illustrates the partisan dilemma his prospective presidential bid has left him with. On one hand, he wants to win re-election in his increasingly blue state this November. On the other, he is widely believed to be shaping up for a 2016 White House bid. He therefore needs to maintain his viability with the GOP base. New Jersey currently has some of the strictest gun control laws in the country.
Class dismissed. Chris Christie, the man who brought the Common Core curriculum to the state of New Jersey, now plans to abandon the controversial academic standard. The governor says it simply is not working in his state.
All right, he thinks Common Core has brought more problems than it solved. Linda Schmidt joins us now live from Weehawken with the ongoing debate. Linda.
That's right. Good evening to both of you. And there's more to this story than meets the eye. Political experts that we've been talking to say this is really more about Governor Christie probably running for president than it is anything else. And conservatives, for the most part across the country, don't like Common Core. Governor Christie has changed his mind about the Common Core education standards. In the past, he has supported Common Core, but now says he is pulling New Jersey out of the standardized test. In a speech today, Governor Christie said New Jersey should develop its own testing system, not one that has been promoted by the Obama administration.
In my view, this new era can be even greater by adopting new standards right here in our state, not 200 miles away on the banks of the Potomac River.
The governor's new position comes less than a month before he will announce whether he's running for president. Common Core is hugely unpopular among conservative voters across the country. Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush supports Common Core.
Out of his mind. He says it isn't a crime to be in this country illegally. U.S. Attorney Christopher Christie of New Jersey says the simple act of being in this country without proper documentation is not a crime. His words. In point of fact, illegal aliens in this country are violating dozens of criminal laws. Bill Tucker reports.
U.S. Attorney Chris Christie is the top federal prosecutor in New Jersey. So when he tells an audience at a community gathering that being an immigrant living in the United States without documentation is not a crime, just a civil offense, people listen. And some people become outraged. The mayor of Morristown is now calling for his resignation. Christie's office has since issued what he calls a clarification, saying that he was responding to a direct question, and that, quote, the U.S. attorney responded that this simple act of being in the United States without proper documentation is not a criminal act under federal law.
Christie, this fellow is really kind of interesting, isn't he? He's just about as cute as they get. Why would he be saying it's not a crime? Why would he then be saying that one could be deported? When did he say one could be deported? At the same event?
At the same event,
he was pandering,
right,
to a Latino activism group.
To a mostly Latino audience. It was an open community gathering. Most of the people, though, there were from the Latino community.
You know, why don't we call the Attorney General tomorrow? Just see how McCasey's getting along. Yeah, he's got a department that is just really showering the nation with honor in the way it's pursued warrantless wiretaps, the way in which it has found a way to rationalize torture, the way in which it has prosecuted law enforcement agents in preference to, that is, of course, illegal alien drug smugglers. This is the kind of arrogance, incompetence, and cuteness that we really need a lot of in federal government. This man is an utter embarrassment. I just can't imagine why they would want him to hang around.
Well, they're letting him hang around, and there's some people, as you know, Lou, who think what he's doing and dancing around this issue like he is preparing himself for a political future as perhaps governor of New Jersey.
Oh, that would be a wonderful thing for the people of New Jersey to contemplate. Chris Christie, G-Man.
Just as importantly, though, it will help make sure the pension is actually there when our public employee and school teachers retire. And believe me, other states have noticed. This reform is becoming a model for America.